Hello, and welcome to the Moonday Message for the collective this week for August 24th, 2020. And the energy that is available to us as a collective this week is very rooted in the element of the water, the suit of the cups. The card that came forth to represent the energy that is present for all of us this week is the Five of Cups. And this can be a harsh and heavy energy to be present with. As you can see from this picture, the Five of Cups represents finding places in our lives, in our relationships, in our work, in our lives in general, where we've hit very clear boundaries, where we've hit places that are uncomfortable, and we are finding ourselves no longer in alignment. And so something needs to shift. The Five of Cups represents this energy of coming to the end of the way things were and needing things to change and be rebirthed into something new. It's heavy. It's deep and wide and nuanced. And I don't want to give the impression that it means you must end a relationship, that things must be broken and therefore thrown away. It's simply the energy of coming to this deep realization and deep knowing of your own truth about your life and these situations, and getting really honest and really clear on what is actually true for you now, today, in this moment. Not what was true for you 6 months ago or a year ago or 10 years ago, but what is true right now and what no longer fits. And in coming to terms with that, honestly, being open and receptive to the grief that will inevitably follow. Grief being the sensation of conflicting feelings when patterns change, when things change, when stuff happens that we don't expect or prefer. So this week holds this element of grief, of coming to terms with the fact that there are things that we do not prefer as a collective. And that brings up a lot of sensation. And so my next curiosity with the cards was, how can we support ourselves? How can we support ourselves in this week of water, in this week of cups, in this week of feeling the grief of honesty? And the first that came up was the Seven of Pentacles. Pentacles being this element of earth, this quality of groundedness, being rooted. And this card in particular focusing on work, creativity, projects that really give us a sense of internal pleasure, a sense of pride, a sense of feeling appreciation for our efforts. So that's the first thing, always, when things become uncomfortable. We don't seek outside of ourselves for comfort. We don't seek outside of ourselves for an answer. We turn it back inward. So we are collectively sitting in a week of heavy grief and discomfort. We turn it in. What can we do individually that brings us a sense of pride and accomplishment? Do we need to focus on cleaning our home? Do we need to focus on an art project that we began but never finished? Do we need to focus on our literal work because it gives us joy and a sense of purpose, and we need to dive into it at a new, more excited way, giving it more of our energy? Whatever this story is for you, what are the things that you do that inspire you, that spark joy, that use your hands, that allow you to feel creative and receptive. This is a week to lean on those practices, to dive into that work, to compartmentalize and know that this grief is happening and it will continue to happen as it should. And we don't need to give it all of our energy and attention. That's what it means to stay grounded and to stay rooted so we don't wash away in all of the feelings. And the second card that came forward, also a pentacle. The Six of Pentacles. So again, earth-based, grounded, centered. This card in particular speaks to offering our generosity, our kindness to others, to those in need, to step outside of our own story and give our energy and our heart and our attention outward to those who could truly benefit. And to do so in a way that supports ourselves. The shadow side of this card is that we might give too much, that we might distract ourselves by giving selflessly. And that's not the medicine this week. That's not the invitation. The invitation to know is to know that this week is full of grief, that this week is full of endings, that what was cannot continue to be. And in order to support ourselves through that transition, we can focus on our creativity, we can focus on doing our work, focus on our joy, and focus on being kind and generous to others. So the true medicine is to, even in the midst of our own pain and suffering, soften and offer kindness outside of ourselves. Offer generosity and sweetness outside of our story, because we all need each other and we're all moving through this process collectively. So how can we support one another through it? That is the message. I wish it was a little more glittery and sparkly and joyful, and it is what it is. I hope that it serves you well. I hope that you have everything that you need, and I will see you next Moonday.